World Cup. Try also to keep one eye on them in 8 months' time. And I see what they're trying to do, the short-term view and the long-term view. You've always got to balance that as a selector, captain, coach. But you must never get away from, you've got your Lions on your shirt, you're playing for England. Bangladesh deserve, a bit of respect here. They're in their home conditions. They're a difficult side to beat. Pay attention to this game. Otherwise, the game can jump up and bite you on the backside.
It was a good interview, and he was very open and honest, but it did feel like he was talking about it as if it was a bit of a fact-finding mission for potential India, and that's months away. That's November. Yeah,
and there is that balance. What do you learn? Say I said Ollie Pope and, Zach Crawley calling him up. In the paper I read the other day, Jordan Cox and Sam Hain. So there are a lot of cricketers out there that you could have called up as batters. Would they, in that long list I gave you earlier of 20 batters they've got who are ahead of them on the list, what would you have learned if Sam Hain would have been called? He's probably not going to play in the next World Cup. So what are you gaining? So they think, well, we'll play Moeen and we'll play Sam Curran and we'll play Wokes and Jordan. They get a bit more of a hit. So they're learning. So I fully get, these are not stupid people, Matthew Martin, Joss Butler, Robert Key. They know what they're doing. But I just think the message that it sends, if you don't have the extra batter and the right balance, is a little bit too much of a message that we're looking a long way. What did Morgan do? I think Morgan concentrated on every game. I know he's trying to change a culture in that white ball side, but he focused in on every game of cricket. And I think if you do that, then the future will look after itself.
It was difficult, though, to select this squad and it's a very difficult position for Rob Key, as an example, to be in when someone, say, like an Alex Hale says, look, I'm being paid X to go to the PSL, only Y to play England. Can I go to the PSL? And Key's reasonably gone, well, yeah, I understand your roles for it. So it's not straightforward a decision as to just say, well, you come back from the PSL and you come over here. They've got other contracts they've signed. And an example of that, Alex, he's not in a central contract.
I think someone like Sam Billings is exactly the same.
Yeah.
And you completely understand it from their perspective, I guess. They're guys who have played a lot of cricket. They've been, for example, Sam Billings, he's run a lot of drinks, as he quite openly said, for England, and he's got an opportunity to go play cricket in Pakistan. He knows he's going to be in the 11 rather than potentially not playing and running drinks. So you understand it from their perspective, and at the same time, but pulling an England shirt's obviously a massive honour. So there's a two sides of it as well.
I have no problem with that, by the way. I have the days of where we, vilified people for not wanting to play for England. The goalpost, the game has changed. They are being paid a lot more money to play franchise cricket, and they've become better cricketers because of it. Ollie makes a good point about Sam Billings. His game stagnated by carrying the drinks. He wants to play somewhere. Alex Hales didn't play for a variety of reasons for 3 years for England, but he was out there scoring a heap of runs in franchise cricket, and when he came into the England side for the World Cup, he was in the team of the tournament, had a fabulous World Cup. So all these guys out there are getting better because the standard in those franchise cricket are superb. So they're getting better, and there'll be better cricketers in the World Cup. So it really is a difficult edge at the moment. Just think they were one batter short on this trip.
OK, but they were given the opportunity, the likes of Sam Curran and maybe Moeen Ali, to go further up the order for England. I mean, Mo was obviously used differently in his IPL franchise. What do you think they would have learnt from batting in these conditions? It's tough.
It is tough. And you've got to try and get those in batters to take it as deep as possible, especially on a pitch like this. And then, like you said, you might not feel like you're learning a massive amount from skying your third ball in the air because it's so hard just to go from ball one. So I guess it's more probably as a team is that if you can get guys in and just try and get them to take it as deep as possible.
Could some of the learning be for those players, you can knock it leg side for a couple, play the gaps, it's not always about the boundaries. Bangladesh by and large did that much, much better than England in the series.
Yeah, I think so. When you first go in particular, England have played in white ball cricket this expansive attacking style. But I said to you earlier, actually, the reasons they won the 2 World Cups was because one lad was a very smart cricketer in Ben Stokes that actually, in the biggest of stages, handled pressure. I think Joss took the mick out of him, didn't he, and said, you won't get in the test side batting like that at the MCG, the way he played. So I think you just need, it's not just the experience of Moeen and Sam in these games, it's if you get to that World Cup semi-final or final, who is going to handle pressure really well, who is going to soak up that pressure and know when to sit in and when to go hard at the opposition. So they need to replace Stokes as that person who's brilliant in the highest of pressure situations.
Back to this game in Bangladesh, we don't know who the player of the match is, we'll find out in due course, but Lytton Das finally came and offered something, and when he gets it right, Very talented.
Yeah, he didn't try anything too almost funky. He just played strong cricket shots there. Other than that, actually.
It always happens, the pundit's curse.
And then, just hit strong shots through the line of the ball. So obviously saw some strong shots off Jofra as well when he dropped it short, tried to almost hit him over mid-wicket as well.
The coach, Hasra Singh, was saying before the series that he felt that the batting lineup lacked a bit of power. They didn't hit sixes like England. But actually, we saw glimpses of what might be in this Bangladesh side. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. They're not built massively, just as culturally, they're not massive, big units. So they do rely on timing and stroke play, and sometimes on their pitches, as England have found out. You need good pitches to hit the ball a long way. So that's why improving their pitches in the long-term picture will be good for their cricket. But they showed they could hit a long ball. They showed they got a lot of talent in that lineup. They're players that really enhanced that reputation. And I'd say it's about time. If you really ask Bangladesh fans, it's not like, oh, wow, we've beaten England 3-0. I think they'd be deep down to be saying, about time. We've been around a long, long time in world cricket. It's not like Afghanistan that have been around at the top table only recently. Bangladesh have been around a long, long time, and they've sort of flattered to deceive. Hopefully this is a start of a long run where, because they have a lot of depth to their cricket, they have a lot of people who play cricket, and they have a lot of support who are desperate for them to do well.
Well, it's obviously ended this winter in a heavy defeat and therefore disappointment for England. But when you look at it, it seems a long winter, and as I say, 35 players I think have been used in the men's game throughout the winter. How would you sum it up overall? I mean, that test win in Pakistan that Ollie was a part of, staggering. There was obviously a brilliant test series in New Zealand, and least we forget, Joss Butler lifted the World T20 at the MCG.
Just success. Don't confuse these three games. These three games are disappointment and not what you want to end the winter. But two things, World Cup winners again. That's 50 over in T20 cricket. From where we were a decade, 7 years ago, before Morgan's men did the business, to be double holders of 2 World Cups at the same time. Success, having changed your captain and coach, influential captain and coach, and to play the cricket that this lot have played in Test match cricket under Stokes, McCullum and these guys. I mean, this is about entertaining the masses and bringing people back to Test match cricket. What this lot have done this winter and before that has been fantastic to see. On the eve, we got Ireland first, on the eve of an Ashes series, and that is going to be fascinating to watch that.
I might touch on that in due course. But what about the strength of the men's game in this country?